ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Badger Den on this cool Saturday night here in Bicknell. A little bit of an earlier game tonight. We've got the Millard Eagles visiting us over from Fillmore. Just watch the freshman game, JV game. Millard won both of those games. The JV game was a little bit tighter than the varsity game, but we'll see if the varsity can fare any better tonight. We've got a pretty decent Millard team in the house. They come in with a record of 7-3 over in they're a two-way school. Again, at 7-3, they are led by senior Derek Mehmet. Is that Mehmet or Mehmet?
Mehmet.
Derek Mehmet, and he's averaging 19.2 points per game right now. They've got let's see, I think they've got 3 seniors. No, they've got quite a few seniors on the roster. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a whole pile of juniors. So they should be a pretty decent team. Millard played last night over in Green River. Came away with a pretty big win. So this is the second night of a back-to-back for them. Over on the Badger side, Badgers come in with a record of 5-3. They currently set, they're tied for first place in Region 20, 2-0 in the region. They're number 5 right now in 1A across the state. Badgers are led by 3 seniors. We got Blake Peterson comes in at 19 points a game. Hunter Robbins with 15.9 and Tristan Martinez with 11.1. Tristan also leads the team in rebounds with 10.4. Glad to see him back and healthy and in the lineup. Badgers are coming off a pretty decisive win over in Escalante on Thursday. Had about a 35-40 point win over there the other night. So we'll see how they come out against this. Probably one of the tougher games they'll have here as we end the year. I've got Coach Stevens up in the booth with me tonight. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
He's a little bit froggy. He's kind of been dealing with the same thing everybody else has been dealing with.
Yeah, you hang around with all these sick kids all day, you just get something, you know. So it's going to sound a little goofy.
Sloughs off on you. Can't help it. Yeah, the JV game went a little bit long, so we're a touch behind schedule. Not too bad. It's we got about 5 minutes before the starting lineups and the national anthem. But yeah, we'll see. I think we got all our boys back and healthy. Anyway, they looked pretty healthy the other night in Escalante, and I think it's burned through our team pretty well. So anyway, this is the final game for the Christmas break. I think everybody's looking for a break for the next couple of weeks. It's been a pretty busy couple weeks for all of our teams, and I know my boys looking forward to the rest. I know I'm looking forward to the rest.
That's right. Yeah.
Sure.
It'll be nice.
Sure, a lot of these players are looking forward to a little bit of a rest and get this bug out of everybody's system and come back ready to play ball after the Christmas break. So.
Then it gets pretty busy. You know, you get into that month of January and you got a whole bunch of basketball games that come around and a bunch of wrestling that happens every, you know, they seem to be spaced out a little bit there in January and a little bit more in February, and then, you know, then you start pushing towards the region tournaments, state tournaments, and when everything really starts to matter. So it's kind of an interesting time, kind of a fun time, so you get a good break and then turn around and go hammer it hard for 2 months and see what you can come out with at the end of the championship.
And we get into region play, start playing more of our kids in our own region, more of the teams that we're going to face at the end of the year. And games, they all matter, but those region games matter just a little bit more as we do the seeding, and it's really fun to start playing those schools that we're used to and playing in our own region. And it's not fun to play these 2 and 3A schools, but gives our boys and girls a lot of experience. But it's always fun to get back into Region 20 ball.
Yeah, we played Duchesne last night. That's a pretty good girls team that came down here to Wayne last night and played and ended up giving us a loss, our first loss of the season. So it's kind of bittersweet, you know, because we'll see how these girls react back to that, and then The bad thing is we got this break to think about it, you know, and then but we got Tabiona coming on the 30th, so both boys and girls. So that'll be kind of fun after the break to have a pretty competitive game, both boys and girls here at Wayne High School.
That'll be a long day of basketball. We'll have 5 games here that day, starting with the freshman boys. I'm guessing. I haven't seen the final schedule, but I'm guessing we'll start with the freshman boys.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to go freshman boys, and then they're going to do the JVs together, one in the old gym and one in the new gym.
They're
and
going
then
to play them at the same time.
Yeah, and then go girls varsity and boys varsity is what I understand.
Okay.
So
I didn't know we were going to do one over in the old gym, so that one may or may not be streamed. Probably not.
And I don't know whether that's boys or girls over there. I don't know that.
All right. So that'll be our next games, our next broadcast. That's on the 30th, full day of basketball after the Christmas break. So looking forward to that. And yeah, like you said, our girls had a tough ball game last night. Got their first loss, but that was a good Duchesne team. Their defense was pretty good against our girls last night. So I wouldn't feel too bad about that one. But we'll take a break for a couple of minutes, come back for the starting lineups and the presentation of the flag, and get ready to start this game.
so here we go. We've got the starters. I don't know if you can hear them on the announcements, but the Eagles are going to start Stevens, number 0, Ralph's number 3, Mehmet number 10, Blad number 24, and Davies number 32. And the Eagles are coached by Braxton Syret. So should be a pretty good basketball game here as the Eagles come our way, and we'll see how it goes. So Robbins set to jump. Goes over to Peterson. Peterson hurries and throws it down to Powell, and he goes up with left hand and scores a quick 2 points for R.J. Powell. So that was a great tip off of Robbins. He kicks it over to Blake and then dumps it right into R.J. for an easy bucket right out of the gate. So the Eagles bring it across the timeline. Jake Davis goes up and gets blocked by R.J., then ends up dribbling out of bounds. So 2 great plays for R.J. right here. He goes down there and makes that nice left-handed layup for an easy bucket, comes down here and basically goes up and blocks Davies, and then Davies dribble it out of bounds. So a pretty good play for RJ to start the game tonight. So the Badgers, Robbins has the basketball on the left block, turns around and does a nice little jump hook right up over the top of Davies for another 2 points for Robbins. So that's a quick 4 points for the Badgers against the Eagles here this evening. Mehmet gives the ball up to number 24, Blad. Blad pulls up for a 3-pointer and good. So Brogan Blad Jr. From Millard, he pulls up for 3 points. Badgers bring it across the timeline. Trayson Brown catches it and twists his ankle. He jumped up to catch that pass and ended up twisting his ankle and falls down, throws it out of bounds. So he's pretty hurt over there for just a second. But that was, I mean, he just jumped up, caught it with one hand, and rolled that ankle. So
came down wrong on it.
Yeah, that was a bad one. That's too bad.
Yeah, he's hurting.
So Peyton Jackson's going to check in and come in for him. So while they're over there tending to Trayson for a minute to try to get him up off the ground, and I'm sure he's not going to be able to put much pressure on that for a few minutes. So that's too bad. 1 minute into the game and have that happen, that kind of sucks. So
he's coming off a pretty good JV game too. He had 15, 16 points in that JV game. He was actually looking better than he's looked for a while. So hoping to have a good game from him.
He's not wanting to put a whole lot of pressure on that bad boy. That's going to be sore. Okay, so back to the action here. We got the Eagles bringing it up the floor. We got Ralphs bringing the ball across timeline, kicks it over to Mehmet. Mehmet dumps it out to number 32. That's Davies. Back to Mehmet. Mehmet pulls up for 3. No good. Rebounds up. Tristan Martinez comes away with it for the Badgers. Dumps it back over to Peterson. As Peterson brings it up across the timeline. Blake kicks it over to RJ on the right wing. Dumps it down to Peterson in the block. Dumps it into Robbins. Robbins on the low block. Kicks it into Martinez, who comes down the lane, goes up, blocked by Mehmet. And then number 24 for the Eagles, Blad, he ended up kind of grabbing it and throwing it out of bounds. So it's going to be Badger basketball underneath their hoop. Peterson set to inbound. Out to Jackson. Jackson takes it down the left wing, picked it back to RJ on the top of the key, kicks it over to Peterson. Peterson on the right wing, looking in, guarded by number 3, Ralphs. Dumps it into Robbins. Robbins back to Tristan Martinez. Martinez hits Blake coming down the lane and goes up for 2, no good. Tipped out of bounds off the Badgers, so it'll be Eagles basketball. So Mehmet for the Eagles brings it across timeline, kicks it over to Ralph. Ralph takes it down the baseline, goes up over to Robbins, and Robbins pretty much set that one out of the bleachers. And then Ralph, he ended up coming down, that's Blad. Sorry, my fault. Blad. He ends up coming down on hitting his head pretty hard right there. Coach Syret's wondering if there was no foul called there, but I think they just kind of ran into each other.
It looked pretty clean where I was. We're right here, right above it.
So Mehmet has the basketball for the Eagles on top of the key. Dumps it over to number 24, Blad. Blad pulls up for another 3-pointer. No good. Robbins gets the high rebound. Kicks it over to Peterson. Peterson pushes down the left-hand side, back to the center. Lets the offense set up, kicks it over to Jackson on the left wing, looking into Martinez. Martinez takes a dribble over to RJ. RJ dumps it into Robbins, kind of gets tipped on the pass inside, and number 3, Ralphs, comes away with it, kicks it out to Mehmet. Mehmet takes it across the dribble, gets it taken away by Jackson. Jackson throws it up to Peterson. Peterson on the fast break, goes up for 2 points, Blake Peterson. So that gives the Badgers a 6-3 lead with 5:28 remaining here in the first period. As Ralph brings the ball up across the court, gives it over to Mehmet, and Peyton Jackson kind of reached over the top of his shoulder trying to get a tip out of that and ends up picking up a foul. So that's a first team foul, and Jackson's first foul as well. So Stevens set to inbound. Dumps it into Blad. Pulls up for two, no good. Rebounded by Robbins. Robbins kicks it up to Peterson. Peterson kicks it down to Jackson. Pushes it down the left-hand side. Back to Peterson on the top of the key. Gets it into Martinez. Back to RJ. RJ on the right wing. Gets highly contested against number 3, Ralphs. Robbins with the ball inside. Kicks it out to Peterson. Peterson pulls up for 3, no good. Rebounded by RJ. RJ takes it down the left-hand side. Gets fouled. Goes up, no good on the shot, but he's going to have 2 opportunities from the free throw line.
Nice aggressive move by RJ to get that shot off.
So Blad, number 24, he picks up a foul. That's his first personal foul. That's also the Eagles' first team foul. RJ set to shoot his first free throw, and it's short. RJ for the second free throw. It's up and good. Blad brings the ball across the timeline. Gets a screen by Davies. Comes around the left-hand side. Get to Mehmet. Mehmet pulls up. Gets Tristan Martinez in the air and takes it down the floor and gets an easy 2 points for Mehmet. So Dirk Mehmet gets 2 points out of that deal, and the Badgers come back down on their side. So Martinez dumps it into Robbins. That's a nice pass into Robbins, and he goes up and shoots a nice little drummer spin-around shot. Puts it in for another 2 points for Robbins. Gives the Badgers a 9-5 lead. 4:25 remaining here in the first period. Ralph takes it down the left-hand side, kicks it to Mehmet. Mehmet back to Davies. Davies pulls up for 3, good. So Jensen Davies pulls up for 3 points and bring it within 1 for the Eagles. Peterson kicks the ball over to the right side to RJ. RJ into Martinez. Martinez dumps it down to Robbins, and he's got a nice little left-handed look. So this guy's going to have a hard time with those 2 big boys on the inside right there if they're just going to play an inside-out there. So
they're passing the ball well.
So Ralph throws that ball into Mehmet. Mehmet takes it down in there pretty hard, gets hit in the eyeball, and goes up and gets fouled. So he's going to go to the free throw line for Dirk Mehmet. Funny little thing for you is there's a couple of these guys over here that are firefighters over at Fillmore. So like Dirk's dad works for the Fuels over there in Fillmore, and then there's Roy Stevens is another fire guy that's over there. So I had to give him a razz. I told him I'd give him a shout out over here while we're giving a talk, so they can go back and listen to it. So that first free throw from Dirk is up and no good, and makes the second one. Peterson takes it to the left-hand side to Jackson. Jackson looks at the high post to Robbins. Robbins takes a dribble back over to Blake Peterson. Blake Peterson dumps it into Martinez. Martinez takes a nice little jump stopper right around number 0 Stevens and puts it in for 2 points. So Davies brings it down the floor, goes up around Robbins, goes up with the left hand, no good, rebounded by Peterson. Peterson set to push the pace down the floor this time for the Badgers, and he brings it up the right-hand side. Nobody goes in to step and help him. Derek was trying to get a hold of him, but he was on his hip, and Blake Peterson goes in for 2 points for the Badgers. So the Eagles have the ball again. Davies with the basketball, kicks it to Mehmet. Mehmet pulls up, fakes, bounces it over to Blad. Blad goes in. And everybody, Coach Jackson's hollering at him when these guys are closing out for jumping, and these Eagles are just driving right around them. So Coach Jackson's telling them to close out low, quit jumping. So we got Eagles basketball underneath. Stevens set the inbounds, dumps that over to Ralphs. Ralphs back over to Blad. Blad takes it out to Ralphs, back to Blad. Takes a couple dribbles back to the top of the key, kicks it over to Mehmet on the right wing. He pulls up for 3, bounces around a couple times, no good. Rebounded by Ralphs. Ralphs kicks it out here. Number 24, Blad goes up, gets his own rebound, no good. Kicks it down into Mehmet. Mehmet pulls it back out for the Eagles to reset the offense. Ralphs takes it around the top of the key, does a nice little floater coming down the left-hand side of the key and gets the 2 points for the Eagles. So lots of good movement there for the Eagles as they brought it around and got a nice little floater for 2. RJ gives it to Robbins. Robbins pulls up for 3 at the top of the key, no good, long. Rebounded by Davies. Davies gets it in the route, goes up against Martinez, gets the block, he kicks it, and then ends up coming down with the ball and gives it back to Blake Peterson, and he pushes it down left-hand side. Pulls up, spins around, no good, but he goes to pull up. Nobody was there to help him, and misses the shot, and the Eagles end up getting an easy rebound out of that deal. Hey, I lost my feed. Yeah. So Vlad pulls up for a three-pointer, no good, rebounded by Martinez. Peterson over to Jackson on the left wing, looking into Robbins. Robbins has got Davies one-on-one. Ends up picking up a foul. So Robbins was holding his ground, and Davies tried to come around with one hand and try to get a deflection out of that, and he got caught. So I think that's his first personal foul for Davies. So Jensen Davies ends up with the first foul. So looks like we had number one, Carson Stewart check in for the Eagles as the Badgers inbound up to Jackson. Left wing kicks it over to RJ. Gets deflected by Carson Stewart. Carson Stewart in that JV game, he was lighting it up from the three-point line. He was every time he got it, he was letting it fly.
Yeah, they were leaving him pretty open under there.
Rylan Hallows checks in for the Badgers as Blake Peterson dumps it into Robbins. Kind of got deflected in there by Davies. Davies comes down with the Eagles and goes and does a nice little Euro step. Kind of splits right through the defense and ends up picking up 2 points for the Eagles. Blake Peterson brings it across the time, comes in on the right wing. Looking in, no movement, dumps it up over the top to Robbins. Robbins gets double teamed, can't quite get his handle on it. Davies ends up grabbing it, but he was out of bounds. So it's going to be Badger basketball underneath there as Robbins was trying to get his handle on that as he was getting pushed out. So Peterson set to inbound for the Badgers. Looking for Robbins diving in. He's getting posted up, gets it out to Hallows. Hallows kicks it out to RJ. RJ over to Jackson on the right wing. Back up to Peterson. Peterson dumps it into Robbins this time, gets double teamed. Back to Peterson. He goes in strong, goes hard up through 3 people, no good. The rebound gets deflected around there, and Stevens comes away with it, kicks it out to Mehmet for the Eagles. Mehmet brings across timeline on the right key, kicks it over to Stewart. Stewart looking for the cutters, back to Mehmet. Back to Davies. Davies pulls up for 3, no good. Rebounded by RJ, and then Ryland comes in, kind of gets it from him, and then Ryland ends up getting the rebound out of the deal. So he kicks it out to Blake Peterson, and Blake pulls across the timeline, set up the offense for the Badgers. Guarded by Mehmet as he's driving down the key, looking for Robbins. Takes it all the way down by himself, down the left hand. Gets a nice little spinning left-handed hooker on there, and it goes in for 2 for Blake Peterson. So that's his 6th point for the Badgers. And Mehmet pulls up for 3 right at the buzzer. Short, no good. That was contested by Peyton Jackson. So here at the end of the first period, we got the Badgers are up 4, 17-13. You want me to do some of these?
Huh?
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's echoing real bad. Is yours flipped up?
Is it still echoing? I'm good. Yeah, we're having some microphone issues here for just a minute. So start of the second period. You got Stewart for the Eagles, has it, kicks it over to Davies on the right wing. Davies goes up. He's going to get fouled before he goes up and shoots. So Tristan Martinez ended up giving a push foul for the Badgers. That's his first foul. So Stevens inbounds to Mehmet. Mehmet out to Stewart. Stewart takes it down there, kicks it back out to Mehmet. Mehmet brings it around back onto the top of the key, sets it up for the offense on the Eagles. Dumps it down to Stewart. Stewart pulls up for three. Good. So just like he was doing in the JV game, left him open out there. He's a pretty good shooter. That's Carson Stewart, a junior. Blake Peterson kicks it over to RJ on the right side. RJ back to Tristan, looks into Hallows, not there. Back to RJ. RJ kicks it back out to Peterson. 14 remaining on the shot clock. Peterson drives down in, pulls up, does a nice little fadeaway, bounces around a couple times, no good. Rebounded by Stevens. Stevens brings it up across the timeline, kicks it out to Mehmet. Mehmet pulls down the left-hand side, dumps it to Davies. Davies takes a dribble and kicks it back out to Stewart, guarded by Peterson. They give it back over to Mehmet, dump back down to Stevens. Stevens takes it back across the time, he's guarded by Peterson. Dumps it out to number 3, that's Ralph's. Back over, Davies with the top, kicks it to Mehmet. They got 13 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Stevens pulls up for 3, no good. Rebounded by Martinez, and the Badgers end up coming away with it. So Good now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for having some technical difficulties. We rebooted our system. Hopefully it sounds better. Those of you that have been listening out there, if you want to send me a text, let me know if it sounds better. Picture should be a little bit better as well. Our machine was a little bit overloaded here, so should be better. Should be back up. We apologize. Emma Peterson sitting out in Fillmore right now watching this ball game. I'm talking to you. Let me know how it sounds.
Had a kid, Emma. Since we come back, we got 2 minutes and 16 seconds remaining here in the second period. Badgers are up 22 to 20, not to 2. 22 to 20. And so Badgers will end up having the basketball. Peterson brings it across timeline, kicks it over to RJ, dumps it into Robbins. Robbins guarded by Davies, goes up strong, gets hammered. So Robbins will end up going to the free throw line for 2. As Davies ends up picking up his foul. I think that might be his third foul. Yes, sir, that's his third foul. So we'll see what happens on that. So number 12 checks in, Stockton Stevens, senior from over Fillmore way. Hunter's free throw up and good. So he hits both of those. Gives the Badgers a 4-point lead with 2 minutes remaining here in the half. So Mehmet brings the ball up across the timeline, kicks it over to Ralphs. Ralphs dribbled, kicks it out to Mehmet. Lets the offense reset, dumps it over to Ralphs. Back to Mehmet. Mehmet dumps it down to Ralphs. Ralphs pulls up for 3. Good. So 3 points. Peterson floats a nice little pass over to Robbins. He gets double teamed, kicks it out to Martinez. Martinez drives in, kicks it out to Jackson. Back to Peterson on the top, down to RJ on the right wing, bumps into Robbins. Robbins tried to get double teamed on that, but goes right up over the top of number 12, Stockton Stevens, and ends up getting 2 points out of the deal. So Ralphs brings it up, kicks it out to Stevens, back to Ralphs. Ralphs on the right wing, dumps it over to Mehmet. Mehmet kicks it over here to Stevens. Stevens back to Blad. Blad back to Stevens. Stevens pulls up for 3, no good, gets fouled by Martinez. He's ended up going to get 3 free throws out of the deal. He ended up coming down here right into just outside the bench after Martinez came in, tried to get a block on that. On that three-pointer. That's Tristan Martinez's third foul. That'll put Connor Stevens to the free throw line, shooting 3. First one's up and good. Rylan Hallows is going to set check in for him, I'm assuming. Is that better? Can you hear me? So second free throw up and good by Connor. Third one up. Bounces off the back of the iron. No good. Rebounded by Peterson. Peterson bringing it up across the timeline for the Badgers with a 1-point lead remaining here, or 1 minute remaining here in the second period. Dumps into Robbins. Robbins gets triple teamed, kicks it out to RJ. RJ dumps it over to Hallows. Hallows back to Jackson, back to Peterson. Tries to get it into Robbins, and number 12, Stockton Stevens, tries to come around to get a deflection and ends up picking up a foul. So that's the fourth team foul for the Eagles. So it's going to be Badger basketball underneath the hoop. So 50 seconds remaining here, 53 seconds remaining here for the Badgers. Peterson inbounds to RJ. RJ back to Peterson. Robbins got one-on-one, turns around, spins, and good. Goes right up over the top of Stevens for a nice little 2 points for Robbins. That time they didn't have an opportunity to get a double or triple team on him. It was a one-on-one. He turned around and made a nice little shot right over at the top of him. So in the meantime, Ralphs comes down, shoots a 3, no good. Rebounded by Mehmet. Mehmet comes up with the rebound, tries to spin, and kind of got off balance and ended up traveling. So turnover by the Eagles. Blake Peterson bringing the ball up across timeline, getting the play from Coach Jackson. 22 seconds remaining here in the quarter. No shot clock. RJ with the ball on the right wing. RJ dumps it down to Peterson on the baseline. Robbins, I think, got fouled as he was trying to cut down in there. I think he got held. So number 12, Stevens again, Stockton Stevens, he was trying to, he's got to work hard against Robbins. That's hard. That's a hard deal he's got to do down there. And Robbins was going in to post up, and he just tried to hold him up a little bit and ended up picking up a foul. So Robbins comes up for 2 free throws. First one's up and good. That's Robbins' 15th point of the game. Second free throw up and good as well. 14 seconds remaining here as Mehmet brings the ball up across the timeline on the right wing, dumps it over to Ralphs. Or to Blad, sorry. Blad kicks it back to Mehmet. Mehmet hesitation, dribble, gets it back out to Stevens. Stevens to Stevens. Back over to Mehmet. Mehmet pulls up at the buzzer. Got the shot off, but ends up shooting it just short. So the end of the first half, we got the Badgers are up 30 to the Eagles 25.
And once again, we apologize for the audio issues. I guess we're still getting a little bit of an echo. Spend halftime checking a few things so we can get that fixed. But to be honest, I think our equipment is tired. It's been a long 2 weeks. I think we're wore out. So we'll work on getting that fixed, and we'll be back. All right, let's try this again. Emma, if you're out there, let me know how it's coming in. I'd read some stats, but I quit keeping track when we started having problems. So all I can do is tell you what's up on the board. With the 5 players that are in there when the quarter ended. So it's like RJ's got 5 and 2 fouls. Tristan's got 2 points and 3 fouls. Blake's got 6 points and a foul. 23, that'd be Payton. 0 points, and Hunter Robbins leads the Badgers with 16 points. Over on the Eagles side, we've got number 10
Mehmet with 6 points, and then you got number 24 Blad. He's got 3 points with 1 foul. James Ralphs, he ended up with 1 foul and 5 points. Then you got Connor Stevens, he's got 2 points, and then Jensen Davies, he's got 3 fouls, but he's also got 5 points for the Eagles.
Okay, just checking a few things here. I know. Hope we didn't lose the stream. We might have lost it. Nope. I think we're still up. And someone messaged me, we're still echoing. Well, our apologies, we'll have to echo tonight, and I'll have to work on this over the break. Let me see if...
Hey Emma, is it both of us that are echoing? Can you tell? It's not picking up that mic on that computer, is it?
It might be.
Test.
Well, little brother just texted me, said, yeah, we're still echoing, so I don't know what to do. I may have found the culprit.
I know you guys probably can't hear me because it's echoing, but if you could see all the stuff that Jared's trying to deal with right here, it's got his hands full. He's got all kinds of laptops, 3 laptops open, and an iPad, all kinds of cables, and all kinds of stuff going on.
And it could be any one of them.
I'm just sitting here on my stool, just hoping that he tells me it's good to go. So it's going to be Badger basketball here to start the third period. Badgers come out with Jackson and Peterson, Hunter Robbins, R.J. Powell, and Rylan Hallows to start this third period. So Peterson comes up across the timeline, looking for the offense. Powell comes around on the baseline, gets it on the top right wing, dumps it into Peterson. Peterson takes it down, pulls up over the top of 3 Eagles. No good. Rebounded by Mehmet. Mehmet for the Eagles pushes the ball up across the timeline down to the right wing. Takes it down, kicks it back out to Davies. Davies pulls up, shoots over the top of Robbins, and ends up to 2 points. So 2 points for Jensen Davies. right out that first possession here for the Eagles. RJ with the basketball for the Badgers, kicks it down to Blake Peterson in the baseline, dumps it out to Peterson. To Jackson, top left wing, back to RJ. RJ to Peterson. Peterson over to Jackson. Jackson's going to, oh, no, I thought he was going to shoot three. No good. Kicks it into Rylan Hallows. Rylan Hallows pulls up for two. No good. Goes in, gets his own rebound. Gets tangled up with James Ralphs, and I think he ended up picking up the foul for Ralphs. So Rylan had a nice wide open bucket, followed his shot in there, got his own rebound, and ends up picking up a foul by James Ralphs, and that's his second foul. Peterson inbounds it up to RJ. RJ kicks it over to Jackson. Jackson back to Peterson. Peterson pulls up for three, bounces around, no good. So Connor Stevens goes up, gets the rebound, and RJ Powell comes up over the top of him and picks up the foul. Oh, no, they gave that to Robbins. To Rylan. They gave that to Rylan. He wasn't even close in there, so he ended up getting, that's his third foul. So he checks back out, and Tristan Martinez comes back in for him. So yeah, that was kind of a bad break for Rylan right there. So Davies has the ball, kicks it back out to Stevens. Stevens pulls up, goes up over to Robbins, pulls up for 2 points, no good. Rebounded by Tristan Martinez. He kicks the ball back out to Blake Peterson, brings down across timeline, kicks it to RJ on the right wing. RJ tries to get it into Robbins. Davies ends up getting his hands in there and tips it out of bounds. So they're definitely double teaming Robbins every time he gets the ball inside the paint, and Robbins was wanting RJ to give that pass a little bit higher. So Robbins with the basketball on the inbound, skips it over to Jackson. Jackson dumps it into Martinez. Martinez spins with the right-handed hook. Good, 2 points, Tristan Martinez. That gives him 4 for the night. As Blad brings the ball up across the timeline for the Eagles, tries to tip it out to Mehmet, gets deflected by Peterson, and Mehmet comes away with it, guarded by RJ Powell. Takes it down the right-hand side, behind the back dribble, goes back up in there, kind of just floats it up in there with, didn't really even jump, just kind of leaned forward and did a nice little finger roll, and gets 2 more points for Dirk Mehmet. RJ with the basketball, kicks it over to Peterson. Peterson looking at Robbins, dumps it over to Jackson. Gets deflected by Stevens and then gets knocked out of bounds. So that was kind of a scary pass. I think Connor Stevens had that one read. He just couldn't quite get his hands on it. Peterson gets the inbound pass, takes it in there, does a line, kicks it out to RJ on the left wing. Look in the line, kicks it out to RJ on the left wing. Look in the baseline, no good. Gets the ball deflected, taken away by Connor Stevens. Connor Stevens takes down Euro steps, gets it. I think he definitely got away with the travel on that and pulls up for 2 points. So did kind of a Euro step, and he did 1 step and then a double on the right-hand side, but gives him 2 points. No call, no foul, right? So that ends up giving the Eagles a 1-point lead. In the meantime, Jackson tries to kick it into Martinez and gets it taken away by the Eagles. And then number three, James Ralphs, he ends up grabbing it, and then he kind of got the handle, stopped, and started dribbling again, and got caught for double dribble. So Coach Shirett didn't like that call very well, but the referee just kind of gave her 2 cents, and here we go with the Badger basketball. So RJ with the basketball, left wing, kicks back out to Peterson. Peterson looking inside, gets it to Martinez, top of the key, back to Jackson, dumps it into Robbins. Robbins triple team, can't quite get the handle, but he ends up coming away with it. Takes a dribble, goes up over the top, no good, shoots it short. So Davies, he was contested by Davies, and he went up over the top of it, and it was just a little bit short. And Stevens comes away with it, dumps it into Ralph. Ralph tries to go into Stevens, but Stevens had already gone a little bit too far under the rim, and ends up catching that ball out of bounds. So another turnover for the Eagles. Blake Peterson kicks the ball over to RJ on the left wing, dumps it into Martinez. Martinez backs to Peterson. Peterson back to RJ. Looking for Robbins, not there. Back to Peterson. Peterson takes a dribble back to the top of the key. Get set, lumps it to RJ. RJ wide open for three, bounces off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Connor Stevens. Connor Stevens kicks it out to Mehmet. Mehmet pushing it down the right-hand side, guarded by Peterson. Goes up, contested by RJ. RJ gets the rebound on that, no good. Kicks it over to Robbins. Robbins wasn't quite ready for it, and ends up gathering it up. So Robbins gathered it, got it back to Peterson. Peterson sets up the offense, dumps it over to Jackson on the right wing, back to Peterson in the corner. Skips it over to RJ. RJ catches that one-handed, gets in the paint, goes to shoot it, and it gets ripped out of his hands by Mehmet. Mehmet takes it up the floor, does a nice little Euro step, and then he gets hammered by Blake Peterson. So Dirk Mehmet kind of held off the defense with his left hand and tried to do a right-handed hook shot with his right hand and gets fouled by Blake Peterson. That's his second foul, and that'll bring Mehmet to the free throw line for two free throws. So first free throw's up and bounces around. Good. That'll give the Eagles a 2-point lead, 36-34. As Rylan Hallows checks back in for RJ Pau. Mehmet second free throw up and good. Coach Jackson hollering at the offense. Peterson throws it over to Jackson. Jackson batters Peterson. Peterson pulls up for three, no good. Robbins goes to try to get a tip rebound, knocks it out of bounds. It's going to be Eagles basketball. So number three, James Ralphs brings the ball up across the timeline, kicks it over to Blad. Blad pulls up for two and gets it. Nice little baseline shot for Brogan Blad. He got into about 15-foot range and just kind of jumped right over the top and got a nice little 2-point out of the deal. Meantime, Jackson has a basketball down, kicks it down to Blake Peterson on the left baseline, dumps it into Rylan Hallows. Rylan Hallows has it down there, dribbles, goes up strong and scores 2 points. So Rylan, he couldn't find anybody to pass it to, so he decided, I'm just going to take a backwards dribble, and ends up getting 2 points out of the deal. So it's a good move on Rylan's part. So the Eagles had Mehmet, kicks it over to Blad. Blad dumps it down into Ralphs. Ralphs back to Blad. Gets stuck on the top of the key, kicks it over to Mehmet fakes, back to Stevens. Stevens pulls up for three. That's going to be short. Bounces off the front of the iron. No good. Rebounded by Martinez. Martinez kicks it over to Peterson. Peterson pushes the pace. He's got the two bigs are down here with him. So Blake starts taking it down the right-hand side, and he gets fouled by Brogan Blad. So that's his second foul. That's also the team's second foul. So. We got a sub coming in. It looks like Hayes Stevens is coming in.
They were pointing over at the bench. Southwood was getting a little bit animated over here. He stood up. I think he thought ref was pointing the implement, was pointing to the inbound. He looked a little bit sheepish for just a second there.
So the ball gets inbounded out to Rylan Hallows. He jumps up strong, and he gets fouled by Ralphs as they're trying to do that long inbound. And that was some good, strong hands of Rylan Hallows hanging on to that basketball on that one. So it'll be Badger basketball. Jackson with the ball on the right wing, dumps it down into Peterson, tries to get it in there, it's kicked by Mehmet. So now the Badgers will have it underneath the basket on the right side. Blake Peterson calling out to play. Martinez cutting through, double screen. Martinez on the baseline. Hesitates a couple times, takes a dribble, no, kicks it up to Jackson. Jackson back to Peterson. Peterson on the right wing, dumps it over on the left-hand side to Jackson. Martinez coming across, looks into Rylan. Rylan pulls up for another two, no good. Rebounded by Stevens. Connor Stevens brings the ball up across the timeline for the Eagles, kicks it over to Mehmet. Mehmet pulls up for three, bounces off back there, no good. Rebounded by Robbins, tipped around. Blake Peterson ends up coming away with it. Looks to push the pace for the Badgers as he's coming down across the timeline, takes it down, hesitates, dribble, does a Euro step into the middle, floats it up with his left hand and puts it in for another 2 points for Blake Peterson.
Great move down the paint.
Davies with the basketball down here for the Eagles. Kicks it out to Ralphs. Back over to Mehmet. Mehmet resets the offense. Goes behind his back as he gets the offense reset. 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Kicks it back out to Ralphs. Ralphs dumps it down into Stevens. Stevens down into Davies. Davies pulls up for a two. No good. It's a long rebounded by Stevens. Dumps it into Mehmet. Mehmet kicks it back out to Stevens. Down to Ralphs. Ralphs downs it down to Mehmet for a three-pointer. He gets... Man, Coach Jackson wants the flop on that. He definitely flopped. But he's going to end up getting 3 free throws out of that deal, and that's going to be Rylan Hallows' fourth foul here with 50 seconds remaining in the third period. And Coach Jackson's down here trying to plead his case, and that was a pretty I'm in favor of Coach Jackson on that call.
Well, they've been calling that flop. I've seen it called a few times the last few ball games. So they were calling earlier in the JV game.
So the first free throw was up and good. The second free throw was up and off to the left-hand side, no good. R.J. Powell checks back in for Rylan Hallows. So that gives the Eagles a 2-point lead, 40-38 with 51 seconds remaining. Third free throw's up, no good, rebounded by Peterson. So 50 seconds remaining. Badgers have it, dumped to the paint, and he ended up getting it tipped out of there, and he got fouled. So Stevens, Mehmet, he didn't think that was a foul, but they ended up giving him a foul on that call. I don't know who they gave that to, but Badgers basketball. So Blake Peterson pulls up on the left wing for three, and good. Blake Peterson, 3 points to give the Badgers a 1-point lead with 33 seconds remaining here in the third period. So Dirk Mehmet with the basketball, kicks it over to Ralphs on the right wing, dumps it down into Stevens. Stevens dumps it into Davies. Davies goes up, and Martinez sends that thing out through the seniors' baseball banners for a nice block by Martinez. That'll end up being Eagle basketball, 22 seconds remaining here in the third period. Stevens inbounds, rebounds it to Ralphs. Ralphs takes it down the baseline, dumps it into Davies. Davies goes to Robbins. Goes up against Robbins, blocked. No good, and Ralphs ends up coming down with the rebound out of that. And Blake Peterson was going to try to block him from behind, and he ended up picking up a foul. So that's going to put number 3, James Ralphs, on the free throw line, and that's Blake's third personal foul. So James, his first free throw's up, short. One free throw remaining here for James Ralphs. Free throws up and bounces around, no good. Tipped around a couple times, rebounded by Davies for the Eagles. Davies goes up against Robbins. Robbins probably got away with the foul on that deal. And the Eagles have it, 6 seconds remaining, 5. Kicks it over to Stevens. Stevens tries to flip it down. Oh, he tries to flip it into Connor Stevens, and it hit off the backboard, and then Connor ended up getting it, tried to go up right at the last second, and gets blocked by Robbins, and they both kind of stared each other down right there. So here at the end of the third period, it's Badgers are up 41-40 versus the Millard Eagles. So getting set here at the start of the fourth period. 1-point ball game in favor of the Badgers, and it's going to be the Eagles basketball. So this next 8 minutes is going to get pretty good. It looks like.
And hopefully we've got that echo figured out. So apologize for that.
So Ralphs brings the ball up, kicks it over to Stevens. Stevens tries to go back to Ralphs, and Ralphs had already cut. And number 25, Hayes Stevens, ends up throwing that basketball out of bounds. So a turnover for the Eagles with the 7 seconds right there out of the fourth period. So it'll be Badger basketball. And Blake Peterson ends up getting the basketball right here at the top of the key. Kicks it over to Jackson, right wing. Jackson looking into Robbins. Robbins double teamed every time he gets posted up in there. Peterson kicks it back out to RJ. RJ goes to try to throw it into Martinez, and Stevens got a two-handed block on that pass and sent it out of bounds. It'll be Badger basketball right here at the end of their bench. So RJ set to inbound. Looking for Peterson. Peter gets it into Peterson. Peterson takes a dribble, jumps up over the top for 3 of the Eagles. Pulls up for 2 more points for Blake Peterson. End up giving him 15 for the night. In the meantime, Dirk Mehmet brings the ball up across the court, kicks it over to Rouse. Rouse takes it down the baseline, dribbles through his legs back to Mehmet. Goes back down the baseline for Rouse, jumps it over to Stevens. Stevens tries to go up against Martinez and block, and Martinez ends up coming away with it. So those guys are trying to get it down into the paint, but these big men are contesting about everything that they have for the Badgers. So RJ has the basketball, gets it into Robbins, has it, gets it back out to Peterson. Peterson looks back into Robbins, not there. Kicks it over to Jackson. Right wing, Jackson dumps it into Robbins. She does a nice little spin around and floats around the rim. And that thing rolled around all the way around the rim and finally fell in for 2 more points for Robbins, giving him 18 for the night, giving the Badgers a 5-point lead here in the fourth period. Dirk Mehmet with the basketball, kicks it over to Stevens. Stevens to Stevens, dumps it into Davies. Martinez goes up to block and gets Davies goes around him, and then it looks like Peyton Jackson might have ended up getting the foul. So yeah, Peyton Jackson picks up the foul after he went up and did a nice little pump fake and was going to go an up and under for Davies, and Jackson was there, picked up the foul. So
got it from
Davies,
behind.
First free throw's up and no good. Number 24, Brogan Blad checks back in for Stevens as Davies has his second free throw. Second free throw up and good for Davies. So that's 10 points for Jensen Davies for the evening. RJ with the basketball, looks into Martinez in the baseline.
Nice pass in.
Goes up and tries to get his own rebound after the missed shot. Gets it out of there, kicks it out to Peterson. Peterson takes it up over the top, gets fouled. So Davies goes up and contests that shot, and Blake kind of moved the ball around just a little bit just to kind of get him off balance, and he ends up picking up his foul, and that's his 4th personal foul for Jensen Davies, and that'll bring Blake Peterson to the free throw line for 2.
Martinez doing a great job underneath, making things happen, getting rebounds, getting passes. He's having a great game.
First free throw is up and good for Peterson. Second free throw up and also good. So that's a 6-point lead for the Badgers with 6:24 remaining here in the fourth period, as Mehmet has the basketball on the right wing for the Eagles. Kicks it up to number 3, Ralphs. Ralphs back to Mehmet. Mehmet looks to go down the key, takes it into the big man, gets blocked out of bounds by both Martinez and Robbins. So,
yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of room underneath there with those 2 guys swatting their arms.
So it'll be Eagle basketball underneath the hoop. Kicks it out to Ralphs. Ralphs back to Mehmet. Mehmet dumps it over to Stevens. Stevens pulls up for 3, the left baseline, bounces around, no good. Rebound to Robbins. Robbins went up over the top of a couple of the Eagles and ends up coming away with the rebound. RJ comes in with the long throw down and goes up for 2, no good. Rebounded by Stevens. Connor Stevens takes the ball up across the timeline, kicks it over to Mehmet. Mehmet back down to Davies. Davies dumps it down to Stevens. Stevens goes up amongst the big man, and then he ends up getting a foul this time. So I think Coach Cyrus just wanting them to keep going down in there and try to get these big men some fouls so they can get some free throws with no time coming off the clock.
And that's Robbins' first, luckily.
So Connor Stevens' first free throw looks left, and it is left. Misses. The Badgers still have a 6-point lead here with 5:45 remaining in the game. Connor Stevens' second free throw is up and also off the left-hand side. Robbins tried to go grab that and couldn't quite grab it. It bounced off his left hand and went out of bounds, and Coach Shire wants to have a timeout. So it's going to be Eagles basketball underneath their basket. 5:42 remaining here in the game. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'd just like to thank a couple of our sponsors here. We've got a pretty good list, some of the sponsors that help us out up here. And you've been seeing them on some of the timeouts and things when you get to see them go across. We'd like to thank M&D Auto Parts, also Blackburn's Wreck. We'd like to thank Jorgensen's over to Richfield, also State Bank of Southern Utah, Chuck Wagon Store and Deli, and Cliffle Ball. Christina Brown Designs and Jackson Excavation. We sure do appreciate those guys as they help us out with some of the stuff that we do here in our valley, and for all of these athletes and for all these programs that we have here in the valley. So we really do appreciate them a lot. So it's going to be Eagles basketball here. As Stevens sets to inbound, they get a double screen out for Blad. Blad pulls up for three, no good, rebounded Robbins. So that was a pretty good set play for Blad coming off a double screen, and he ends up shooting a three-pointer and rims out, rebounded by Robbins. Robbins kicks it over to Peterson. Peterson over to Jackson. Jackson back to Peterson as RJ's cutting on there to the baseline. Jackson has it right wing, dumps it into Martinez. Martinez takes a hard dribble, pulls up, and 2 points. Tristan Martinez took it right to the defender, bounced back, and did a little fadeaway floater. Got 2 points for him.
And he's fun to watch.
So the Eagles, Stevens with the basketball right in front of their bench, kicks it over to Blad. Blad back out to Ralphs. Ralphs dribbles through his legs, guarded by Peterson, top of the key. Kicks it back out to Mehmet. Mehmet back over to Blad. Blad dumps it down into Stevens. Back to Blad. Blad dumps it down into Mehmet, dumps it into Davies. Davies pump fakes, gets out his big man to jump up, no good. Rebounded by Martinez. So he pump fake, got one guy in the air, and then tried to float one up over and threw it hard up off the backboard. Rebounded by Martinez, and the Badgers come across the timeline reset. So 8-point lead here for the Badgers. Tried to bounce that into Martinez, and number 3, James Ralphs, ends up getting a kick off that. And number 12 checks in. That's Stockton Stevens for the Eagles. Jackson with the basketball on the left wing, kicks it back over to Peterson. Peterson back to Jackson. Jackson dumps it into Martinez. Down to Robbins. Robbins jumps. Didn't even really jump. He just kind of grabbed that and turned around and did a nice little jump shot right over the top of him, but didn't really have to jump too much. So 2 more points for Robbins. Davies with the basketball, kicks it over to Stevens. Stevens gets Robbins up in the air, and then he just ends up staying straight, gets his own rebound, goes back up again, no good. Davies comes down away with it, goes up, no good. So that's three blocks for Robbins in one possession, as Mehmet gets the basketball on all of that and ends up giving a 2-point little floater out of the deal for the Eagles. 14 points for Dirk Mehmet. So RJ with the basketball right here below us, kicks it out to Peterson. RJ for three, no, bounces off the front of the iron, no good. Rebounded by Stevens. Stevens pushes it up across the timeline, down the right wing, dumps it over to Stevens. Stevens back to Davies. Davies kicks it over to Mehmet. Mehmet pump fakes, no good, dumps it down, tries to get it down to James Ralphs, and he gets fouled by Blake Peterson.
I didn't see much there. Oh, they're going to call it on Blake. No, they called it on Payton for getting his hand in there, but it looked to me like he had all ball. I didn't see much contact there. So that's his 3rd foul for Peyton Jackson, as Mehmet has the basketball, kicks it out to Stevens. So Stockton Stevens kicks it over to Connor. Connor dumps it down into Stockton. Stockton goes up and gets a nice little 2 points. Guarded by Peyton Jackson, so he just kind of did a nice little leaner off the right-hand side and scored 2 points for the Eagles. Peterson kicks it over to RJ down on the baseline. Back to Peterson. Skips across over to Tristan. Tristan kicks it over to Jackson. Jackson pulls up for three, no good. Tristan Martinez comes away with the offensive rebound, kicks it back out to Peterson. Peterson takes it down into the paint, kicks it to RJ. RJ drives it down baseline, goes up, contested by Davies, no good. Tipped around, rebounded by Stevens. Stockton Stevens comes away with it, takes it up across the timeline, dumps it down into Ralphs. Ralphs pulls up for three, no good. Rebounded by Tristan Martinez. 2:43 remaining here in the fourth period. 51-45 for the Badgers. Look like the Eagles were going to put a little bit of pressure on the Badgers there as Blake Peterson resets the offense. So we kick it over to Peyton Jackson. Jackson back to Peterson. Looking for that high post, Tristan. The ball's tipped away by Mehmet. Taken down the floor by Ralphs. Ralphs tries to dump it into Mehmet, taken back away by Peterson. Peterson brings it up across timeline, and Coach Jackson wants to have a timeout. So, I think he's a little upset with some of those passes, and so they can get these things dialed in. They got 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining here.
up by 6 here for the Badgers. So going back down through some of our sponsors, we'd also like to thank Bryan Farm Service Center, Fillmore Plumbing, Harvard and Reese Construction, and Stan's Burger Shack. We'd also like to thank Duke Slick Rock Grill down to Hanksville, Whispering Sands Motel, and the Brown Brothers Construction. We sure do appreciate all of these sponsors, and let's see if we can get down through some more of these. We got Loa Builder Supply, Papa Ducks. We can go over here and get you a car wash and some gasoline. GJ Electric, Garcane Power, Royals Market, Grundy Concrete, so Blackburn Propane, Tug Energy, Howie's, and then also we got Franson and Albrecht Physical Therapy, and then Alexis and Carter. We sure do appreciate these sponsors and everything that they do for us, and they've got a nice little ad down here on our score stand, so it's kind of a nice thing that these guys get to get a little bit of appreciation for everything that they do for us, and we really do appreciate them. So it's Badger basketball here, 2:15 remaining here in the fourth period, right here in the end of the game. Jackson set to inbound. The Eagles are going to put on a little bit of pressure. Blake Peterson ends up getting the basketball for the Badgers. They're looking to do a trap, the Eagles are, so they get him trapped, kicks it over to Martinez, top of the key, over to Jackson on the left wing, dumps it back into Martinez. Martinez takes it to RJ. RJ takes it up strong, rebounded by Robbins, tipped around a couple times. Robbins tips it 2 or 3 times back out to Martinez. Then he resets, so
great job by
33 seconds remaining here on the shot clock. Martinez dumps it into Robbins. Robbins going to go up strong, gets blocked by Stevens, but then he ends up getting his own ball back, gets it back to RJ. RJ goes up strong, and 2 points up over the top of Connor Stevens. So 2 points, RJ Powell. That's 7 for him for the evening as the Eagles push the pace up across the timeline. Mehmet with the ball at the top of the key. Dribbles through his legs, guarded by Peterson. Dumps it over to Stevens. Stevens pump fakes back to Mehmet. Mehmet dumps it down to Davies. Davies looks baseline, no good. Back to Mehmet. Mehmet for a long 3. Bounces up, no good. Rebounded by Robbins. Robbins tried to grab it, bounced off his belly and went out of bounds. So it's going to be Eagles basketball, 1:22 remaining. Underneath their own basket. So looks like they're going to set up that same double stack play. Not there. Dumps it into Davies. Davies gets sealed. Goes up, rebounded by Robbins. No good. Peterson brings it up across the timeline. So Eagles pull the pressure back. They're going to go with a man pressure at the top right here. Kicks it over to Jackson. Dumps it into Martinez. Martinez down to RJ in the baseline. Tries to dump it into Robbins. Gets it to him. Tips around a couple times. Taken away by Mehmet. Mehmet pushes it up the court. Dumps it over to Stevens. Stevens takes it up for a 2 points right-handed layup for the Eagles. 50 seconds remaining as Peterson has the basketball. They tried to kick it down to Martinez. Martinez gets fouled. So that was a long pass by Peterson. Martinez kind of waited for that pass, and then they ended up getting foul on that. So Connor Stevens he just about had it. Martinez was waiting for that pass instead of going and getting it, and then ended up getting fouled out of that deal. But that's only the second foul for the Eagles, so it'll be Badger basketball. Martinez inbounds it to RJ, top of the key. RJ back to Peterson. Peterson's trapped at the timeline, so Coach Jackson calls a timeout. So 43 seconds remaining here in the game. Badgers are up 53-47.
Badgers can just control the possession here. Just be smart, play some disciplined ball. They should be able to eke this one out.
Yeah, they're getting that. The Eagles are doing a pretty good trap. They're letting them catch that basketball right when they get across the timeline, right out there in the no man's land in that corner, and then then they're covering the next 2 passes, and it's making it pretty hard for Blake to get a pass in. So I think they just figured out right here. Coach Jackson called a timeout, gets these guys in the right position so they can get some of them passing lanes opened up. Skip it around a couple times and burn a few seconds off the shot clock.
Yeah, just keep their heads, make good passes, don't do anything silly, and they should be fine.
So we got like 30 seconds remaining here on the shot clock as Martinez is going to inbound right in front of the Wayne fans. So Martinez looking to inbound, dumps it over to Robbins. Robbins had to go high, get that one, and then he ends up fouled by Davies, and that's going to be his 5th foul. So Davies had a great ball game, Jensen Davies for the Eagles, and that's going to end up being his 5th foul. He comes away with 10 points out of the deal for the Eagles, so good game for him, but that was a pretty hard when he had to foul, so they tried to get the ball back. But then the Badgers will end up having the basketball underneath their basket with 40 seconds remaining. So the ball's inbounded to RJ, out to Jackson. Jackson gets fouled by number 24, Brogan Blad. So that'll be, they're trying to get that quick turnover. If they don't get a turnover, it's a foul. One more will put them into the shooting bonus. So Badgers set to inbound once again out by the fans. Badger fans. Robbins setting a pretty hard screen over there. Looks like Peterson's going to come get it. Going to get it into Peterson as he comes across the timeline. He pulls it back out, gets deflected, and then he ends up kicking up a foul. So that one ended up working out good for the Eagles. James Ralphs, he picked up another foul on that deal. Not really trying. He just kind of reached around from behind, but then that's going to end up putting the Badgers at the free throw line, giving the opportunity for the ball back to the Eagles. So Blake Peterson comes to the free throw line for 2. First free throw's up and good. Carson Stewart he's going to check in for Stevens here. He's a great three-point shooter coming in right here where they need a couple points. So I'd be watching that kid. So Blake's second free throw bounces around, no good. Rebounded by Stevens. Connor Stevens kicks it out to Mehmet. Mehmet pulls it up across the timeline, dumps it over to number 24, Blad. Blad pulls up for 3 and good. Coach Syrett wants to call a timeout. So that pulls it to within 4 points for the Eagles, 26 seconds remaining here. So the Badgers are still up 4 points. So it's going to get interesting right here. I'm sure they're going to go for a full court press and try to get a steal, see what happens, and then look for all these guys on their, they've got some great three-point shooters down here. You got Ralphs and Mehmet, and then you've got Stewart in there now as well. And, and I've also seen Connor Stevens. He's been shooting a lot of threes tonight too. So they've got a lot of three-point shooters in here to kind of help them out right here with 22 seconds remaining. So
Badgers have got to be careful. The Eagles can get hot. You saw that in the JV game. They've got a lot of good three-point shooters, so they've got to watch that perimeter. And then on the offensive side, they've got to just play disciplined ball, take care of it.
Yeah, we need to get a good inbound right here, take care of the basketball. You got 22 seconds or something remaining, I think is what it was, 26 seconds remaining. So see what the Badgers draw up here. Eagles go with a full court, man pressure. Looks like a little bit of a denial. Trying to deny Blake Peterson. Blake tries to get open, gets open, and gets fouled quick by Dirk Mehmet. That'll put Peterson back to the free throw line. Only took about 1 second off the shot, off the clock. The Badgers set 2 men back, guarding the basket down on this end, so they can't get a quick three out of the deal. Blake Peterson set 2 free throws. First free throw's up and good. So that's 19 points for Blake. Second free throw up and bounces around, no good. Tipped around a couple times. Robbins just about had it. Connor Stevens comes around with it, guarded by Tristan Martinez. Gonna go up strong for 2. Oh, and he got fouled. Ooh. So a chance for a 3-point play. I thought Martinez was in a pretty good position. He didn't foul him on the way up, but got him on the way down and ended up putting the bucket in. Connor Stevens did, and giving him 7 points for the night and a chance for a 3-point play. So this free throw to bring it within 2 points. Free throws up and good. So 55-53, and Coach Snyder wants to have another timeout. So 18 seconds remaining here in the ball game. Going to get exciting here for the next 18 seconds.
Great game.
That looks like the Badgers might have 1 timeout remaining, and the Eagles have 2. So if that board's correct, I'm not 100% sure, but I would think it is. We'll see what both of these guys draw up. It looks like Coach Southwick's down here for the Badgers writing some stuff on the board. I can't quite see what it is, or I'd kind of give you a little heads up. But
it's fun to see him down there drawing plays up again.
Right. And it looks like every coach down there on the Eagles bench is giving all those guys an instruction down there. So they got all 3 coaches talking down on the Eagles side, and Southwick and Coach Jackson are giving them some on this end. So we'll see what happens here with the last 16 seconds remaining. It's going to be Badger basketball. Got to go the full length of the court. 18 seconds remaining in the game. Robbins going to inbound for the Badgers. Tried to get it to Blake Peterson. Blake gets it inbounded. Gets fouled quickly by Stevens once again. So Connor Stevens ends up getting the foul, putting Blake Peterson back on the free throw line. Last 2 times he's been on the free throw line, he made the first one and missed the second one. So if we can get these double in there, that would sure help.
Yeah, we need both of these.
I mean, he's a great free throw shooter. It's just, he's been working hard. It's been a long week. Everybody's been sick and lots against you. But, the first free throw's up and good. So we switch the big men in for some speed down here. Get the bigs down there to guard the hoop and get some of these speedies down here. So Blake Peterson's second free throw's up and also missed. But Jackson goes away ends up coming away with and gets knocked out of bounds. Stewart ended up having it and fell out of bounds, and that's going to be Badger basketball, 15 seconds remaining.
Great heads-up play by Payton there.
So Payton with a great hustle play trying to get that offensive rebound and grabs it and goes out of bounds. And then Robbins ends up picking up an offensive foul, and he's pleading his case, but he just picked up an offensive foul. And that's going to give them 2 free throws. Oh, no, that's an offensive foul, so no free throws on that deal. But second free throw, or a second foul for Robbins. But that'll be Eagles basketball. They're down 3 points, 14 seconds remaining. So we got 3 of the Wayne coaches up. They're doing a little cheering who's going to guard whom. Martinez ends up getting a steal out of there. And then he ends up getting a foul. So number 24, Brogan Blad, takes it down. Kind of lost the handle a little bit going up against Robbins, and Tristan Martinez just kind of took it out of his hands, and then he ended up getting fouled by Connor Stevens once again.
Yeah, that was just Tristan just right in the right place at the right time there. Just kind of fell right into his hands, but he was playing great defense and ended up with the ball there.
Yeah, and then he pulled it back out. It's a real smart play on his part. Pulled it back out, and they had to come and foul him. So now he's down here on the free throw line and misses his first free throw. And they got number 1 down here. He's a pretty good shooter. Stewart down on the end as Tristan sets to shoot his second free throw. So the second free throw's up and good. Coach Styrett wants to have another timeout. So Badgers are up 4, 7 seconds remaining here in the game.
2-possession game. I don't know. I think that
free throw right there by Martinez, that was a big one.
Sure would have been nice to get a few of those others we'd missed, but and then again, you got to give credit to even though we ended up losing on the next possession, that heads-up play by Payton down here on that inbound to keep the possession out. Badgers they're doing a lot of good things tonight. I think this is honestly some of the best ball I've seen them play yet this season. They're doing a good job tonight.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I love it when these guys are moving around quick and they're playing as a team and, giving each other high fives and cheering for each other. And, man, it's just a good time right now.
Yeah, they're all having fun.
So we've got 7 seconds remaining. It's going to be the Eagles basketball. They got to go the full length of the court, down by 4. Stevens going to inbound. We got Mehmet on this right side. They're looking to give it to Mehmet. Mehmet catches it, guarded by 2 of those guys on the top, drives through them, kicks it over to Stewart. Stewart pulls up for 3. That's long. They could see it coming. Bounces off of the Eagles, out of bounds. Badgers win. So the Eagles had the opportunity they wanted right there. Stewart, he just caught that thing and shot it over the back, over the rim, and kicked out of bounds. Badger basketball. So the Badgers come away with the win, 57-53.
Great ball game. Great game from the Badgers. This is a good Eagles basketball team. Of note, they beat Draper APA a couple weeks ago, who came in here earlier this week and thumped us pretty good. And so this is a good Millard Eagle team that the boys just beat. They need to feel really good about this win.
Yeah, that was a good ball game for these guys. I mean, I don't know about Trayson down here. He lasted just a little bit, twisted his ankle, but, Peyton Jackson came in, stepped up, and played really well in his behalf. And I thought they did overall really well tonight. Played a great team basketball game. Lots of blocks, lots of rebounds, lots of good things on the defensive side. And then on the offensive side, moving it around, hitting that high post, taking it down, getting it into Robbins. Robbins and Blake both came away with 20 points each, and that's just a great combination when you get those two guys going, and then you get Tristan and you get RJ coming in with an extra 7. Each of them had 7. That's a great team effort right there when everybody's being unselfish, scoring the basketball.
Well, and the Badgers, they played 7 players tonight, and then when Trace went out, they played 6, and all 6 of those remaining players, I think everybody scored except looks like Payton may have not scored any points, but he did a lot of great things on that offense, like you say, when Tracy came out of the game, moving the ball around, had some good defensive plays. They did well, and it's fun. Like we said earlier, it's fun to see them having fun. They were having fun tonight.
Right. Yeah, it's good times. So.
Well, and once again, we apologize for the audio issues earlier in the game. I think we've got it figured out. So we want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday season. No more games for a couple weeks. Our next games will be on the 30th. We'll be here at home against Tabiona for both boys and girls. We'll get those games up on YouTube, and like Coach Stevens said, it sounds like we'll have at least one JV game in the old gym, so I'm not sure if we'll be able to get a feed on that one or not. We'll do what we can to. That means I got to do some extra work over the holidays, see if I can figure out a second feed. But maybe we'll get something figured out. So, but those games, do you know what time those are going to start?
I know they're pretty early because, like the girls' varsity game, I think's at 4-ish. Okay. I mean, don't quote me, but they're pretty early. So
just keep subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll stream those games on YouTube, and that'll be on the 30th. But yeah, once again, I want to wish the Millard Eagles good luck traveling home. Hope they travel safe, and again, a great win for the Badgers. Wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Hope everyone has a good holiday, and
we'll see you next.
Hope everybody starts getting over the sickness. Coach, I hope you.
Yeah, I actually feel way better now.
You sound better than you did when you first got here.
I think I just need to exercise them a little bit.
So, anyway, great win for the Badgers. They improved to 6-3 on the season, and this will give them some good momentum.
That's right.
And great win for the Badgers, and so we'll leave you there and see you.